All right, well, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. You are here to witness the incredible, the marvelous 2021 Nissan Versa S CVT, of course. So, who do we have to thank for this opportunity? It is none other than Leith Nissan in Cary, North Carolina. I will leave all of Casey's information down below if you're interested in purchasing this incredible automobile, of course. So, okay, let's get a little bit serious here. So the Nissan Versa, why are we here to check this out? Because cars like this is going away. You know, there's about $1.3 trillion worth of open loans on automobiles now in in the United States. And what's an extra 20 bucks going to do every month, right? So people just typically, when they buy a new car, they just finance an extra 20, 50 bucks a month. They just get a Sentra or whatever, because these subcompacts are going away, because that's what people are doing. They just pay a few bucks more every single month, and then they go and upgrade to a compact level car. So that's why you see vehicles like this going away, but it kind of makes me sad, because these were the truly affordable vehicles, especially with some discounts that people could afford. I mean, this is, you know, like a freaking $17,000 car. I mean, and it's brand new, under warranty, all that good stuff. Not saying it's the best car in the world or anything. Well, you know, you never know. But to find that out in a little bit. But before we do take this thing out on the road, let's first of all, let's do all the the protocols that we need to have done here, right? You got to subscribe, you got to like, you got to dislike, you got to, what else you got to do? You got to share. You know, you got to do everything, all of it, all the time, every day, every month, every year. That's the only way we can get vehicles like this on the channel to review for you guys, of course. So, all right, enough of that. Let's just get on to this review. So 2021 Versa. So it actually got redesigned in 2020. So you let me know in the comment section, do you like the way this vehicle looks or not? I mean, for once, this vehicle does not look juvenile. It doesn't look stupid. I actually do like this blue color. It's actually a decent looking car for a subcompact. I'm not a huge fan of subcompacts typically. I actually agree with the buying public. I would actually like to upgrade to a compact car, actually. But, you know, this car might actually make for a decent purchase. It's like 55 miles per hour. It's not bad. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about those things. Let's talk about how this vehicle performs out on the road, because the way this vehicle looks, that's up to you. But to me, this does look clean. It does look like a decent looking sedan, actually. It's a respectable looking sedan. So, let's see here. What's this little turn here? Let's talk about this drive. So, you got yourself a little 1.6 liter, 4-cylinder, turbocharged. No, I'm just joking. It's not turbocharged. Don't get too excited. So, not even any turbos. It's just that little 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine. Produces about 122 horsepower, about 114 pounds-feet of torque. That's what you're dealing with, baby. This is basic transportation. This is all you need in a vehicle. Anything more than this, you just want it. But this is all you need. Actually, you don't even need this much. I mean, this thing only weighs like, what, 2,600 pounds? Okay, this is the S model, okay? The most lightweight, the most basic trim level. Well, this is the most basic trim level, but you can get a 5-speed manual if you wanted to, so that's pretty cool. But this is the CVT, and the CVT is programmed to act like a regular automatic, and so far it's doing a pretty good job of that. So we'll test more of that out in a little bit, but actually we'll just turn off the traction control here. One touch off. Okay, I like that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more of the specs here. So riding on about 15-inch wheels here. You got strut-based suspension. You got a torsion beam. So let's see how all that reacts here. The torsion beam has been redone, of course, for this 2020 model year. Okay, not the most inspiring thing in the world, but it gets the job done. Okay, anyway, I was talking about the suspension. Okay, strut base, and you got a torsion beam in the rear. Okay, the torsion beam actually got redesigned for the 2020 model year. Okay, they fixed the crosswind stability for this vehicle, for this generation, the third generation vehicle. That's one of the things they improved. And also the overall rigidity of the chassis. That's another thing that they improved. So 15% less roll in the chassis. So these are all things that they kind of improved for this generation to make it a more legitimate vehicle. You know, with the idiots out on the road, this is more than enough to smoke them. I'm already leaving the traffic behind because they're too afraid to get on the throttle pedal. It's like 70 miles an hour right there, okay? you know, from a stop, it's okay, but I'm about to take this onto the highway. You know, when you want to pass somebody, that's where the deficiency of the horsepower is going to be made clear, because, you know, it's only got 122 horsepower, man. I mean, that's all it's dealing with. But let's see here, you know, chuck this thing into the corner. You know, it's not completely out of hand here, so that's pretty good. Tested it out a little bit, you know, did some high-speed maneuvers there. And you know what? It was extremely stable past 70 miles per hour, so I'm glad to see that. And you know what? It doesn't roll around too much. It's not too ridiculous. It's not out of hand. It actually has a decent handling characteristic for what it is. It's not amazing, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's better than you would think. The other subcompact that I drove that I was extremely impressed with was actually the Yaris, and that felt a lot more solid and more rigid to drive. However, I will say, here's the problem with the Yaris. It's a lot more money. It's about $2-3 grand more money. So, you know, that's what you have to deal with. But, you know, up at the highway speeds here, you know, past 70 miles per hour, it just has wind noise. It has like the wind buffeting. But other than that, this is actually extremely refined for what it is. It's really stable. That's the most important thing. You know, refinement, I know, is not going to be amazing with these cars, but at least, you know, it's picking up okay. It's doing the whole fake shifting thing extremely well. Very stable at the higher speeds. Very good. Okay, testing out the handling one more time here. Okay, those 15-inch wheels, you know, doing its thing, you know. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. But okay, 15-inch wheels, 195 wide tires in all four corners, baby. They actually increased the width of the tires for this generation. Will you believe that? You can like pretty much wrap your whole hand around these tires. You know, the steering is one of the first things I noticed. I actually do like the way the steering feels. It's kind of numb, but hey, okay. Very good, very good. You know what? For city driving, this is more than enough guts for you. Even out on the highway, it's not absolutely terrible. You're not gonna feel like, you know what I'm saying, like the car is gonna fall flat on its face. It's not like that. It's a linear power delivery, of course. There's no turbo, so it keeps pulling actually. It's decent to get the job done. See, and I recommend getting the 15-inch wheels because even over some of these bumps, it has like this jittery ride quality, which is expected for a subcompact. It's only like 170-something inches long. It's not a very large vehicle, so it doesn't have a long wheelbase or anything like that to help absorb the bumps, and it doesn't have a proper chassis or anything like that, but it's coping well with at least these 15-inch wheels. If you got the 17s, it just would not be appropriate. Even if you got the SV with the 16-inch rims, it's just not necessary. This is good enough. It doesn't actually peel out the front tires. That's one of the things I noticed. It doesn't have enough power to do that, but even with these skinny tires, it's one of the things I noticed. So that's good. This is very much adequate for everyday driving, man. I'm telling you, no, it's not the most refined thing in the world. You know, this is right in line with the rest of the subcompacts, but this is actually like a decent looking car that you can actually afford, brand new, put it on your driveway, and it's totally fine daily driving. I don't feel like I'm sitting in a tin can, because that's what the previous generation Versa felt like. It felt like a death trap in there, dude. Like, it's night and day between the old Versa and this one. So if you're going to upgrade in vehicle, do it, man. These newer subcompacts, these are absolutely great. It's definitely one to put on your short list if you're just looking for cheap freaking transportation that gets the job done reliably. And you know what? The CVT, this is actually a very good job that they've done with the CVT here, because the CVT, it does mimic actual shifts, like, you know, like an automatic, extremely well. Very similar to what Kia and Hyundai is doing with their IVT CVT transmission. So I really appreciate that. And the road noise isn't absolutely ridiculous, primarily because it's got the skinnier tires on here. But, you know, genuinely, the handling changes that they made, it's made it not only a more refined vehicle, but most importantly, I like the stability at high speed. It felt great, man. I had, you know, it was up there and it performed great. Ride quality with the 15-inch wheels is appropriate for a vehicle like this. This is the wheel setup I would have to go with a vehicle like this. Otherwise, it's just going to be too rough for me. And the steering actually has like a nice little weight to it. It's very easy to maneuver this thing around. It's got like this, it's got character to it because there's zero douchebaggery associated with this car. Like it just feels entertaining somehow to drive this car around. It's just basic transportation, but there's something freeing about it. You're not going into like absolute insane levels of debt to get you around in a decent vehicle. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a good experience for most people. Brakes, I'll kind of end off on this. Okay, the brakes are extremely good. It's got discs up front, but it's got drum brakes in the rear, and you know what? That's all it needs because it only weighs 2,600 pounds. You only need discs up in the front. You only need all that stopping power up in the front. So I'm glad that they actually put the drums back there because it's going to be extremely low maintenance. This is going to cost next to nothing to replace parts on it and to upkeep and all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. There's something liberating about these vehicles. Only cons that I detected with this car is that wind noise, but you got to expect that, dude. It doesn't have like the double pane glass or any of the extreme refinement things that you're going to find with more expensive vehicles like in compacts or mid-sized cars. You're just not going to get that here, and you're not paying that much for it, so you got to expect that. And again, don't get me wrong, this is not like the best driving experience, but it's a decent one. That's what I'm saying. This is better than, like, if you drove this car, most people will come out of the experience pleased because they're like, you look at something of this size and this nature and you would think it's a total death trap toy, but it's not. It's actually very pleasant to drive, and that's what's remarkable. They've come a long way with vehicles like this, so I'm pleased to see that. So let's go ahead, let's check out this interior now. Okay, so we have officially stopped. One last thing I actually just wanted to point out. So this vehicle actually does get 32 in the city and 40 on the highway. Regular fuel, of course. That's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. And of course, in the real world, this will probably get even better fuel economy than that. That's usually how it's been for these subcompact type vehicles. So that's good. Lightweight vehicle, all that good stuff. Okay, let's talk about this interior because this is one of the main things that they actually changed here. And you know what? For what this is, they actually did a decent job designing it to feel like a more upscale vehicle. It feels... Everything's hard touch, okay? All of it is hard touch. Every single thing here, okay? It's all hard touch plastics, but the way they actually implemented the designs, the way they molded all the hard touch plastics actually looks decent, and they even put in some fake stitching in there for you. So it's nice, man. It's pleasant. You got yourself a nice little rubberized little steering wheel here with a flat bottom design, okay? That's nice, and it's nice and open. You can easily see your gauge cluster from here. You just got plenty of space. It's just a nice thing to grip onto, and like I mentioned, I like the weight of the steering wheel as well when driving, so that's great. You even have one-touch auto up and down windows just for the driver's side here, which I was still pleased to see that. It's like a legitimate one. You hold it down and one touch goes up to. So that is great. I really like that. When you sit in this car, you close the door, it doesn't feel like a tin can. There's a nice weight to the doors here. For a subcompact, it's decent. So I like that. Plenty of standard features. Nissan likes to say that they offer the most amount of standard features in pretty much all the class, and this class of subcompacts, that is actually true. They do offer the most amount of standard features. Like, this car has lane keep assist, parking sensors. Like, why? Like, it's a totally basic car, but it has it. This is the S trim model, so there's that. There's a few other things you get available with the S trim levels. Look it up on their website to see which trim levels, which options are appropriate for you, what you want to pay up for. Me personally, the SV trim would be a good trim level to get, especially if you get some discounts on it. That would be the trim level I get with 15-inch wheels, because I believe in the SV trim you actually get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto standard. However, in this you get a 7-inch screen in all the cars, but in this you don't get the S trim. It's optional if you want the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, so it's something you have to actually pay up for. With the SV, you get even more kind of standard features. I would only get the S if you want to get the manual transmission and really make it like a nice basic experience. However, this CVT, I'm actually totally a huge fan of this. This is actually doing a great job shifting for me, so that's great. And apparently reliability has gone up with these CVT transmissions as well. It's something that they worked on, so that's great to see. Got some little fake carbon fiber treatments here, but you know what? They're trying it. They didn't have to do that, but they did it. So I like to see that. The mirrors are a good size in here. The seating position is pretty good. I still have plenty of space up here. There's no sunroof, so that kind of helps with the rigidity of this vehicle, but also gives you some more headroom, so that's nice. You even get a few other things like automatic headlights, even automatic high beam assist, I believe. You got a 4-speaker Bang & audio system here. Yeah, it's really hitting hard in here, with all 4 speakers, of course. Sounds like a total tin can in here. It is, yeah, it's not that great, but whatever, though. At least you got an audio system. It gets the job done, I guess. You got USB connectivity. The 7-inch screen actually does react relatively well, actually. It's a touchscreen unit, of course. Actually responds very good. It's very easy, nicely laid out, and you know what? It gets the job done. I really don't mind this at all, so that's very good. Got your little camera systems, of course. You even got a backup camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to help you people out. For the people who don't know how to drive, this is great. But this is such an easy car to drive. I don't know why you need all this stuff, but you got it. You know what I'm saying? So that's really good. So yeah, that's a good screen system right there. I like the way they implemented it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of incorporated with the dash. Kind of facing you. So that's nice. Got some piano black plastic, of course, being used around the gear lever knob, which I honestly I don't care. You got push button start in this vehicle, and like I mentioned, USB connectivity, aux cable connectivity, as well as a place to put your phone. So that's nice. Simple HVAC, hot and cold. That's it, baby. 0 through 4 for the fan speed. That's it. AC, cold, hot. That's it. Very good, very easy. Really like that. So easy, but here's the thing. I don't like when subcompacts do this. The Yaris was the same thing. You don't have a freaking center armrest. It's just a brick of plastic. I guess they're just trying to save a couple pennies, but whatever, though. I mean, it's just a nice thing to have a center armrest, but you got 2 big cup holders here, or, 2 decent-sized cup holders. You can put a bottle in the door pocket as well. Glove box is an okay size, gets the job done. You got 2 more USB ports right here as well if you want to use that. The rear seats, let's talk about that because it's also very important. So with the way I sit, I'm 5'11". I sit a little bit close to the steering wheel. I sit the right way, upright, no gangster lean, nothing like that. I have plenty of space sitting behind myself in my seating position, but I put the passenger seat back a little bit. I can still sit back there. The way I have the passenger seat set up, it's like for somebody who's, I don't know, like over 6 feet tall, and I can still fit back there, but my knees would be touching up against the seat. I like how there's plenty of foot room, toe room, whatever you want to say, underneath the seat, so that's good. And the back of the front seats here are nice and cushioned, so you can kind of dig your knees up into the seat. So that gives you a few inches extra leg room as well, so that's nice to see. Headroom is really good in this vehicle. You can fold down those seats. That's great. And another thing I forgot to mention, these seats are really comfortable. I don't believe it's like the zero gravity or whatever that Nissan advertises, but this is extremely comfortable both in the front and the rear, so that's really great. These are non-fatiguing seats. Nissan does a fantastic job, similar to Mazda with the seats, so love that. But the most impressive thing with this vehicle is the trunk. Trunk is absolutely massive, huge amounts of space back there, and you can just fit just about practically anything, and you can even fold down the rear seats. That's what makes this vehicle so freaking practical. It's damn near like mid-size levels of trunk capacity, and you even have a spare tire in the trunk as well. So you got that. You got basic transportation here. It gets the job done. It's a fine driving vehicle. There's not a whole lot for me to, complain about, particularly for this segment. Just a little bit of that wind noise, but it's not super intrusive, actually. It's a decently refined vehicle. You're buying this thing brand new. You got all the warranties. You got nothing to worry about for 5 to 6 years. So that's great, man. You can pile on the miles in this thing. The cheaper you buy a car, the less loans, the less headaches. You know what I'm saying? It's a pleasurable experience for anybody. And with the way they redesigned this vehicle, it doesn't look stupid anymore. You see what I'm saying? This is the sedan version, and it looks clean. You get it in black, silver, white. It's not a bad looking car, and this blue is kind of fun too. So that's what I have to say about the new Nissan Versa. Okay, if you're an owner of this vehicle, or if you've owned the previous generation Versa and you tried this out, please do let me know your thoughts. And if you've driven some of the other subcompact vehicles, let me know what you think. It's something that you should maybe consider, see if you can negotiate some deals on it, and I'll leave all the dealership information down below. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.